for today's cup of coffee with Scream.
Scream.
Yeah, we're recording this November the 3rd, 2024.
Yeah.
I think everybody's exhausted.
Only 30 days in.
Yeah. And it's like they did this, got rid of daylight savings time. And so now I've got stuff falling everywhere. It screws up people's circadian rhythm. And now it gets dark quicker. It's funny, other people are talking about it. It's 9:30 a.m. and it's already dark.
Yeah.
Well, it's winter. That's one of the reasons I do not like winter, is because of the low light levels. Some of us are more sensitive to those things than others.
Mm-hmm. Seasonal depression is a bitch.
Yes. Yeah, seasonal affective disorder is not fun.
Yeah, nah.
And I have these like mega watt lights throughout the house, and people are like, my God, it's some kind of spotlight.
It's bright.
But it has helped with some of the seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
And
So,
because
I know it helps you, so that's why I don't complain about it.
Yeah. Because I'm just doing the best that I can, other than, to try to function at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the added stress of all this stuff that's going on has just, it's unreal. I mean, it's like being in a nightmare, and every day you wake up and it's like, what fresh hell is this?
Right. It's like,
And it's
this
crazy.
new. Same shit, different font.
No, it's
Except new
different
this
shit.
time.
I have learned shit over the past week that I never, ever wanted to know. Truly.
I mean, we learned that this is beyond Nazi Germany type stuff.
Yeah.
And, not even communism. Not even other countries in communism euthanized a squirrel.
Yeah.
And lied about their reasoning behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just absolutely incredible. And that was like, this is always the frustrating thing on X. You'll make a post and you're thinking, I really like this. I'm proud of this. And it gets nothing. No traction. Nothing.
Nothing.
So that's the reason I'm using it as our backdrop today. Because, and maybe some people didn't understand the context of it. This was the character in The Wizard of Oz before they went to Oz and she became revealed as the Wicked Witch.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of these people. She was a Karen.
Yeah. Like, fully.
And it's like,
don't be a Karen.
Why?
Karens are insufferable.
And I don't understand why some people don't tell these people to go someplace and sit down and get out of their lives. I think in this story that she was affluent in the town somehow. And that is true today. You've got some of these people, they've got more money, they've got more status, and it's like, nah, I don't give a damn.
See, the people that usually become that, those are the mean girls.
Uh-huh.
And those are always, the mean girls always become Karens.
A lot of times they do. And it is generational. Mm-hmm. And it was like I was explaining to you there at one point, with the sororities and fraternities in college, if somebody's parent had belonged to whichever it was, then the kid has to automatically be taken in by that.
Mm-hmm.
And which that's a strange thing in and of itself.
That is.
What they don't get, some of us don't give a shit. Yeah. Never wanted to belong to that. Knew it for what it was and rejected it. And that is the one thing that these people cannot deal with, is rejection.
No.
Because when they are, what would you call it, main character syndrome?
Yeah. Main character syndrome. A heavy dose of narcissism.
Uh-huh. And to sit there and go, no, yeah, you don't mean nothing to me.
It's like, well, okay. You bitched about someone.
Yeah.
Bully.
And they are bullies. And this is what I don't understand. Why do people have a hard time standing up to them? Personally, I don't. But I have life experience that is different than a lot of other people have.
They need to be put on an island.
I
Flat
don't
out,
know.
just put on an island.
If it is a spirit about this, I understand that people do not want to go out on a limb. Because and especially in the world today, we've got a lot of people who have been cowed. And that means that they're afraid of standing up and speaking out because they're afraid of losing social status. They're afraid of being retaliated against job-wise. Guess what? These people are years too late in my life. Been there, done that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It won't kill you.
No.
There are times that you might feel like you would like to exit stage left, but you don't. Mm-mm. And it's just, it's interesting. It is most interesting.
These people just...
They are the Mean Girls Club.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just like...
It's like, damn, you haven't grown at all? You haven't matured at all?
Well,
and you're right. There is a
on.
Spirit about them.
Uh-huh. And it's a generational something.
Yeah.
And we know that there are demonic spirits that can be assigned to families. Yeah.
Oh,
it's true. It is
that makes
true.
Mama, that makes me think, gotta touch a demon in him. I was assigned it.
No, you were not.
Damn.
You had undiagnosed food allergies, and the person that said that was an idiot. And if you would, why in the world would you believe the opinion of an idiot?
I was trying to make...
I know, but it's true. How many people are out there believing the opinions of idiots? We've got a world full of them. That's why they pull out these celebrities and stuff like that.
That's true. That is true. And listen, some of these celebrities, they're not idiots. They play stupid. They play stupid real well.
It doesn't matter. Their job is to pretend to be somebody they're not.
Yeah.
Or to sing songs that they may or may not have written.
It's all an agenda. Most of them, like for example, Jennifer Lopez, she ain't never written a song a day in her life. She ain't never sung any of her songs truly a day in her life. It's all been auto-tuned.
It's a matter of manufacturing.
Yeah. She was an industry plant, full on.
Yeah.
People have figured that term out just recently.
There's a whole lot. There are signs of people waking up to things that have been happening for 20 or 30 years, or longer than that. And they're sitting there going, y'all tinfoil hat people, God love you. You were right. Yeah.
It's like, what?
No shit.
Oh, no.
And a lot of us are just sitting there going, hey, welcome to the party. Mm-hmm.
Hence the, what?
Mm-hmm. But it is most interesting. But within this observation of the character of the Wicked Witch, there are people, honestly, that make a conscious decision that they want to use this as a role model.
Why? That's what my kid... Like, listen, I do understand a certain allure to villains, certain villains and stuff like that. I can understand that. But why would you want to idolize someone like that? Why would you truly want to be that way?
Right. That's a good question. I think it has to do with
power and control. Because that is a very painful, lonely life.
Well, if somebody is a sociopath or a psychopath, not really, because they are all that exists. And for some people, they do things. There are some people that do really horrible things, but they're not necessarily a villain.
Yeah.
There are people that, honestly, they know that they're the bad guy, but they don't care as long as they get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with the power and the control and this absolute, and they're convinced that everything, whatever they do is okay as long as they get what they want. And it seems like they're growing in number.
Yeah, just
that's scary.
Yeah, it's that disregard for anyone else's well-being. And that, like, seriously, that is a case of too self-absorbed and narcissism and a lot of sociopathic behaviors. Mm-hmm. Antisocial behaviors.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it has to do with... and oldest kid, we were discussing some of this at Sunday dinner, how that society and stuff like that, and something's got to give, because what we have currently is not sustainable.
No.
And usually what gives, and there have historically been times when it was almost like a mass epiphany, this awakening, this understanding, and that there was not violence. But those things were kind of rare.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that those mass epiphanies is God trying to be like, dude, snapping some sense into y'all.
Well, yeah. The epiphany is that sudden understanding.
Yeah.
It's like the light bulb moment. And, I've prayed for that for a very, very long time.
Well, if you notice a good portion of my generation, once they hit a certain age, boom, their whole perspective just is like a light bulb went off. That's why I said like a good portion of them.
We were also discussing, and we've discussed this here on the channel before, that there appears in a lot of people to be an arrested development.
Yeah.
And that studies have shown, there's so many hormone disruptors and things like that you can look at some of these people that are in their 20s, some of the males, and they look like they're 12. That is a hormonal imbalance. That's not normal.
Mm-hmm. Yet if you go take them to the doctors are going to be like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Everything's normal.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of times the doctors don't understand that they have not been taught properly. How many of them take it, take the initiative to teach themselves and to teach themselves things, other ways of thought other than current allopathic Western medicine, which is symptom relief based.
It's very rare that they actually do that.
Right. And the ones that do, then you've got the other ones that are going, what are you actually doing that? No, that's all. Oh no, don't use homeopathics, don't use herbs, don't use none of that stuff. That's all, that's just poof.
Yeah, it's all woo-woo shit. And it's like, that apothecary, I saw someone was like, you need your own apothecary in your house.
Absolutely.
So it's like, dude, that herbalist shit, that's better for your body.
This is what my response...
Way better for your body than any of these chemicals that they're pushing into pills.
These things have been tested for thousands of years. As far as what more empirical evidence could one possibly want?
Mm-hmm. Right. But they need the science.
The degree of brainwashing is just incredible to behold. told.
I'm pretty sure some of these techniques of brainwashing was in MK Ultra or other offshoots.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was one of the things that people reference George Orwell. And maybe that book was prophetic. I don't know. Maybe it was inspired. But he was talking about, he said that double think means the power of holding two contradictory beliefs in one's mind simultaneously and accepting them both. And that's called cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
And in a literary argument, yeah, you can do that. In actual, no. Because it does break brains.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the things that children that are abused, that causes a cognitive dissonance, and a lot of times it can cause a whole lot of other mental health issues, such as children are hardwired that their parents are supposed to protect and provide.
Yeah.
And when that parent does not protect and provide and causes harm, it's almost like that child learns that love equals pain, which is just perverse when you understand that. And that if the kid doesn't, as they grow, the individual grows, if they do not correct that thought, that false belief, they will subconsciously put themselves in situations that make that personal lie valid. Yeah, that's how it works. People are going, why do I do what I do? Well, go back and trace it back, and it takes a long time to do that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of inner healing right there.
Uh-huh. It certainly is. And then there was something I had found, and there's a book that I need to get, and it's by someone called William Lutz, Lutz, which I thought was interesting because that was the name of the family in the Amityville Horror. It stuck out to me. But he wrote a book called Double Speak. And this is in Scripture. We're warned about this. Good will be called evil, and evil will be called good.
Yep.
But in this book, that's what he's talking about. It makes bad seem good and negative appear positive, and the unpleasant appear attractive or at least tolerable. It is language that conceals or prevents thought. That's psyops.
Yeah.
And that we've had this stuff, we have been subjected to this most of our lives through advertising.
Yeah, that's exactly. Advertising, TV programs, music,
Sure.
radio, all of it.
Sure. The changing of the meaning of words, that has been going on for a very long time. I mean, think about it, even as far as going back to Michael Jackson, as far as, oh, that's bad. Which meant good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got as far, oh, that's sick.
That's sick. That's wicked.
Yeah. When it's totally not. But that's changes within our brains, that sort of short circuits.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me of a scene from Bratz Genie Magic, and Katya, it was her first time in a club, and Sasha comes up to her and was like, I love your shoes. They're wicked cool. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what? My shoes aren't evil.
Right. Right.
And Sasha just sort of gave her a look like, what?
And then that's one of the things as far as even the term brat. You know, a brat used to be a spoiled, selfish child. Mm-hmm. You did not want your child to be a brat.
Yeah.
And for that to be now the celebrated thing, everybody wants to be that. No? And the thing is, the people that are claiming that label, yeah, it's accurate. They are spoiled, selfish children. So such interesting times
That's true.
that we are living in. And I'm one of these, I believe in reclaiming language. In every generation, I get it. They got their things that they say.
Yeah, it's got their slang, stuff like that.
But I don't know. I was trying to think back, and I don't know, as far as in the 80s, that we really, if something was bitching, which came out of California, that was some of the, surfer slang.
Yeah.
And then, of course, through TV and different things like that, and movies.
Valley Girl stuff.
Yeah. Oh, God, the Valley Girl thing. The Valley Girl thing.
Get this. No joke. And this is pretty much... Elvira and Angeline, they're pretty much the same thing, except one's on dark mode. That's it. One's in light mode and the other one's on dark mode.
One actually had a career and the other one is delusional.
Yeah. Yeah.
80 years old and delusional, or however old she is. She was a never was, has been. That's truth. Mm-hmm. Now, she could have spent her life doing something wonderful. But what did she do? She chasing something that never was going to happen. And it's just sad.
There's a reason I was saying that, and I don't remember what it was now.
But now, Cassandra Peterson, she really, with the character of Elvira, she made that work. I mean, that's legendary. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing wrong. And it's not everybody's lot to be known. And going back to our Wicked Witch character, to think that somebody would choose, or out of their selfishness, cause harm to others to where they became villains.
Yeah. Well, I've actually heard of someone said one time, like, you either grow up, become a hero and die a hero, or you grow up, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And it's like, that's not always true.
No, I don't think so.
I think what they're talking about is if someone's sticking to a delusion long enough that they can become a villain.
Well, I think that a lot of it has to do with life perspective also. That there are some people, instead of viewing events in their life as, learning experiences, challenges to overcome, different things like that, to become bitter and resentful and hateful because their life didn't work how they thought it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. Well, what if you went through that stuff that it was for the purpose of your soul's development?
Right.
Because there is more and greater than just this world. But there are people that they don't get that.
I mean, I just figured that's what all hardship was for. It's like for a greater purpose and teaching in some way. Mm-hmm. I don't know, we may not know the reason behind it, but heck, it's happening for a reason.
Right.
It's gotta be.
And it is perspective.
Yeah.
How you view something. A day simply is. Whether it's good or bad is your perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like, a day is how you make it usually.
Yeah.
Unless something really should happen, but then that's just,
But even then, even if it's something, events happen and it is the perspective, but that's your momentary, judgment about it. And something that seems horrible at the time may end up to be a great blessing.
Yeah. It may.
So you have to have a little bit, longer range view on some things.
Yeah.
And some things we never understand. It's just like, okay, it happened.
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, what
but like I
know
said,
now?
that somebody would choose to be the villain. And this, as far as almost praising the villains and wanting to make excuses for why people do evil, that's something that's different in today's world too. No, evil's evil. It does evil because that is what it is, and that is its nature. And people do not understand within evil there is no compassion.
None. Like they can fake it. They can fake it, but they don't actually have it.
Right. What they don't want is the backlash.
Right.
Of what would happen if they... I think people's hearts, what's truly in their hearts and minds is being revealed in a huge way.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to wonder, that because these people lack introspection, because anybody that sits and has the ability to be introspective usually chooses not to be a villain. Usually. But a lot of times these people don't have that, so they don't look at themselves and say, okay, my actions affect, my choices affect not only me, but everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do.
Yeah, people can't really people don't understand that fully now. That they are very much like, it is a ripple effect. They themselves just simply stepping out of the house, going out to a grocery store, that in of itself is a ripple effect, and it affects other people.
Sure. Well, see, that's within our belief system. We can be either a blessing to others, that's what we are, that's what we strive to do.
Yeah. They don't really understand how much of an impact they truly make.
And weren't you telling me that there was a trend on TikTok or something as far as targeting people because they were nice?
Yeah. Like, there is this just lack of common sense and rationality with some of these people. And it's just, this person was saying something as... It was when the hurricanes were happening.
Right.
And she was like, why is no one helping them? What is wrong with the government that they're preventing people, just giving them like measly checks?
Right.
Giving them pennies. And they went after her. Attacking her for her alleged... She never said anything as far as political beliefs, but they immediately assumed that she was a MAGA. Yeah, a MAGA supporter. And she's not. She never even talked about it. She said that she didn't even vote for this last.
That's
thing.
what concerns me, because that could be an after effect of the othering, which has been pushed for a very long period of time. And so that could be first sighting of that if it's happening to those people, it's okay because those people brought it on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of horrifying.
It is. That's why seriously, at a certain point, anybody with that mentality needs to be scooped up, put on an island.
Mm-hmm.
They need to just eat themselves alive.
I think we need to let them have California. Californians, yeah. I'm sorry, but it's like we'll bring y'all back, further inland and stuff like that.
Listen, the good people in California, they can... Because there is good people.
I know they like the beach. I know they like the beach. But it's like, or whatever, Washington State or someplace that's their entire, let them have an entire state all to themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That they could sit there and they can, each of them within themselves, be perfect, and we'll see how that works. Because I know what'll happen. I mean, it's just like, yeah, because it works so well in sororities. They get along, they get along with each other so well. Have you ever seen the movie Heathers?
Yeah. That's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is a good psychology study too.
It's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It's accurate.
But yeah, people don't like this main character syndrome bullshit is causing people to be completely unaware of what they are causing in the world. And that is very, very dangerous.
Like I said, that's child mentality. That is emotional immaturity. Yeah. Final thoughts, kid.
God help us.
Yeah. That's the main thing, is just praying.
I think it has to be coming to an end at some point, quickly.
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
Something's got to give. We are all having a paranormal and/or supernatural experience.
We all
Everybody.
going through shit.
Mm-hmm. We all bought a ticket to ride. You want to tell them where we can be found?
Find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. Also check her out on X, previously known as Twitter, Rolanda, COCWS. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good.
I'm more active on X than I ever dreamed I would be. I think I
You're on
get
there a lot.
It's ADHD. I know that's what it is. It's like, ooh, I like this. I like this. I like this. I've got to.
No, that's exactly what it is. And then
Yeah.
it sucks you in, and then you're scrolling for hours.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not necessarily hours, but as far as reposting and different things and responding, I'm very active over there a lot of days. I'm an active participant. I'm not an observer. It just happens. It just happens. But the main thing is encouraging people.
Yeah.
That is a lot of what I do. Now, every now and then, do I believe in holding people accountable? Yes, I do. And I have the ability over there to speak to whomever's page, whatever, they made a statement, and I can give a response. I value that. I value freedom of speech. Truly. So, anyhow,
I mean, that's
definitely
just,
pray for us.
It's inhumane to mute someone, to take away someone's freedom, just to speak.
This is a
To say-
God-given right.
Yes, there's a lot of things that are God-given rights that they have been trying to take away from us
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And they've been taking stuff away little by little by little.
Drip by drip. Death by 1,000 cuts. So, know that you are loved. If you have a problem with villainy, let me know in the comment. No, seriously, if you do truly need prayer or something, let me know in the comments or whatever, and I'll try to give you a way to get in touch with me. Because we do pray for people. Lots. Lots. We are a praying group of people. Always have been. That is part of our culture.
Yeah.
That's part of Appalachian culture.
Well, it's kind of needed to survive up here.
That is one thing. You have to be close to God in these mountains.
Yeah.
Because you know that family and God, that's what's going to get you through. Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way that you would like to be treated. And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup. Bye.